Hello, I am Professor Rathod. Today I am going to discuss about the most important power plant, that is called as diesel power plant. Now, what is the importance of diesel power plant? Why the diesel power plant is selected, and how it is important diesel power plant. Now, the diagram of IC engine. So how this concept starts with the diesel engine. Diesel engine, the oil and gas engines are essentially work on internal combustion principle. The fuel burns inside the engine and products of combustion work as a working fluid to generate the mechanical power. This principle sets them from external combustion parts, that is steam and gas turbine plants. As expected, all IC engine have got some common features. They have got a cylinder in which the fuel is fired. The power developed is received by piston reciprocating inside the cylinder. Piston is connected to a crankshaft through a connecting rod and a crank, which converts reciprocating motion of the piston into the rotary motion of the crankshaft. Flow of air into the cylinder and that of the gas out of the cylinder is controlled by valves or ports. Each series of the events or the cycle of an oil or gas engine involves four steps, that is charging of the cylinder or suction, compression of the charge, then burning of the charge, also called as combustion, which expands and pushes the piston out, and exit of the products of the combustion so that the cylinder may be recharged for the next cycle. And diesel engine, an engine completing all these sequences in the complete revolution of the crankshaft is known as a two-stroke engine, whereas an engine completing all these sequence in two revolution of the crankshaft are known as four-stroke engine. In case of gas and petrol engine, a mixture of fuel and air enters in the cylinder. Compression ratio of such engine is usually from 5 to 8. In case of diesel engine, the air introduced into the cylinder compressed, and at the end of the compression the oil fuel is injected into the cylinder, which burns due to the high temperature of the compressed air. The compression ratio of such engine is usually ranges from 14 to 21. So at the initial, this was the important for the diesel power plant. Now the engine components, you can see the engine components in the diagram. So in this diagram there is a piston, cylinder, a connecting rod, inlet and exhaust valve with spark plug. So cylinder head, the wrist pin and crank pin which is connecting to the crank, and connecting rod, the wrist pin which is connecting to the piston and the connecting rod. And so from top dead center to bottom dead center, how it works, these are most of the engine parts which you can see in the diagram of the engine components. IC engine parts: the cylinder head, piston rings, gudgeon pin, connecting rod, crank pin, crank, engine bearing, crankcase, flywheel, governor, valves, fuel pump, fuel injector and the combustion chamber. These are all the important parts. Now you can see the four stroke. What are the four stroke? The four stroke, one is suction stroke, also called a charging stroke. The second stroke is compression stroke. Third stroke is power stroke, also called as a working stroke, and the last stroke is exhaust stroke. What happens in the first stroke? You can see the diagram A, B, C, D. So four stroke cycle working in the two revolution of the crankshaft. So suction stroke, with the movement of the piston. When piston moves from TDC to BDC during the stroke of the inlet valve opens and exhaust valve closes at the end of this stroke, end of the suction stroke. So like how the four strokes has happened, that is suction, compression, expansion and the power stroke. Now this is the two stroke diesel engine. You can see the main parts of it, the piston, the cylinder, the crank and the crank rod. So the diagram first is upstroke and the second diagram is downstroke. How it happens: upstroke, that is also called as compression stroke. One way of the valve opens and the fuel mixture is drawn into the crankcase. Transport port is covered, fuel mixture is compressed again and ignited. Piston covers the exhaust port during the compression. The next stroke is the combustion stroke. This is the combustion stroke. Combustion force piston down, compression fuel mixture in the crankcase. In the port is covered and the valve is forced to close. Transport port is uncovered, forcing fuel mixture into the cylinder. This fuel mixture pushes the exhaust out of the exhaust port. The two-stroke cycle diesel engine, how it works, it is shown in the diagram. The cylinder is connected to the closed crank chamber CC. During the upward stroke, the piston, the gases are compressed. At the same time, fresh air enters the crank chamber through the valve V. The next, this is a diesel cycle. You can see the diesel cycle on the PV and the TS diagram. You can see in the diagram. The last diagram of the bottom diagram is of the dual cycle. These are the cycles. Now the classification according to the engine. Classification of the IC engine, that is internal combustion engine. On the strength of the internal combustion engine, the diesel power plant can work according to the cycle of the operation, two stroke and the four stroke. According to cycle of combustion, Otto cycle, diesel cycle and the dual combustion cycle. The PV and TS diagram we have seen in the last slide. According to arrangement of the cylinder, horizontal, vertical, V type and radial type. The next classification according to their uses: stationary, portable, marine, automobile and aero engine. According to method of fuel supply of the engine: oil engine, petrol engine and gas engine. According to method of ignition: spark ignition and compression ignition. According to speed of the engine: low speed, medium speed and high speed. Next, according to method of cooling: air cooling and water cooling. The next, according to number of cylinders, single and multi cylinder. Next, according to method of governing: heat and mass, quality governing and quantity governed engine. And next, according to valve arrangement: overhead valve engine, L head, T head and F head valve engines. Now this is IC engine types. According to method: spark ignition, that is SI, and compression ignition, that is CI. Next, according to method of cooling: air cooling and water cooling. Next, according to method of governing: heat and mass, quality and quantity. Next, according to valve mechanism: overhead L, T, according to number of cylinders, single cylinder and multi cylinder. So this is, you can see the isometric views of one is inline, second is U cylinder, V type, X type, radial type, H type, opposed cylinder and opposed piston. These are the isometric views of type of IC engine. You can see as per the shape, like U, like V, like X, H, etc, etc. These are the IC engine types. Now the actual diesel power plant. In the diesel power plant, you can see the layout of diesel power plant. From the top, storage and shop, washroom, switchboard, office and hall. These are to the left of it, and at the center of this layout, space for for unit 1, unit 2, unit 3 and unit 4, etc. So this unit 1, 2, 3 are connected with help of the air intake filter and the equipment, and at the unit 4 the exhaust silencer are in line. Then from the front entrance you can see the layout of diesel engine power plant, layout of diesel power plant. So this is the layout of diesel power plant. You can see this is the diesel plant layout with all the auxiliaries. So basically in the middle of it the diesel engine which is connected with help of the fuel tank, which is connected with fuel tank is connected with the fuel tank with help of the transformer pump. The other side the diesel engine is connected with help of the surge tank, which is again connected with help of the cooling tower, oil purifier, oil pump, etc., etc. This is the diesel power plant layout with different auxiliaries. The compressor is for starting of the diesel engine with help of the filters. Basically to the diesel engine the generator is connected so that there is generation of the electricity. So with the different auxiliaries the diesel power plant can look like that. Then the diesel power plant layout. In the diesel power plant the diesel power plant is connected with help of the fuel oil pump, the pump, again the compressor with help of the filter, the lubricating oil tank with help of the filter. This is again connected to the oil cooler is again connected to the cool water condenser, cooling water pump, and the diesel engine is basically connected to the generator with help of that exhaust gas and silencer. The diesel engine is basically connected to the generator so that there is generation of electricity. So now this is the essential components of the diesel power plant, that is called as also called as DPP. The first part diesel engine, second part fuel system, you can see air intake system. The number 4 is exhaust system. The number 5 is cooling system. Number 6 is lubrication system. Number 7 is starting system. Number 8 is stopping system, and number 9 is governing system. These are all the, and one more part, number 10 is generator. So the diesel engine and generator are all important under the essential components of diesel power plant. Now diesel power plant layout with auxiliaries. So diesel power plant the part 1 is engine, the part 2nd is air intake system, the part 3 is exhaust system that we have seen in the last PPTs or the last diagrams. Engine, the main component of the plant which develops required power. The engine is generally coupled to the generator. Then the next is air and exhaust system. Then the next part is fuel system and cooling system. The fuel system includes the storage tank, fuel pump, strainer and heater. The cooling system, this includes the water circulating pump, etc., etc. And this is the cylinder to keep the temperature of the cylinder in the safe range and extend the life. The next part, lubrication system, engine starting system and the governing system. Lubrication system includes the oil pump, tank, filter, coolers, connecting pipes, etc., etc. Engine starting system includes the compressed air tanks. The function of it is start the engine from cold by supplying the compressed air. Now the governing system, one of an important system. The function of governing is to maintain the speed of the engine at the constant irrespective of load of the plant. This is done by varying the fuel supply in the engine according to the load. So the next system is air intake system. You can see the diagram of the diesel engine which is connected with the muffler, and this muffler is connected to the air filter with help of the lower. So this is the air intake system. Fresh air through the pipes, filters are used, and the silencer and the intake. This is the air intake system. So air intake system conveys the fresh air through the pipes and ducts to the engine. Filters are used to catch dirt and particles of the system. Filters are of dry and oil bath used. Silencers are provided in between the engine and intake. Silencer is one of the important part. Then some of the precautions while constructing air intake system that you can read in the PPT. So these are all the important with help of filters and etc. It is used. The exhaust system, you can see the diagram with the diesel engine. The exhaust manifold is there with expansion joint and which is connected to the silencer for the arrangement of gases out. The function of the exhaust system is to discharge the engine flue gases into the atmosphere. There is a exhaust manifold and the exhaust gases with waste heat, and the recovery devices are there, that is exhaust system. Now the fuel system, fuel unloading line which is connected to the fuel oil pump and the bulk storage. So fuel oil pump is connected to the engine with help of strainers, meters, and the tanks. The fuel system, the main flow is made workable and arranging the pipe of the equipment with heaters, bypasses, shut-offs, drain lines, relief valves, strainer, and the filters, flow meters, and the temperature of the indicator. So the flow plan depends on the type of fuel, engine equipment, and the size of the plant. The main storage tank, manholes for repairs, fuel lines to connecting controlling the oil and flow suction line to the withdraw oil. The fuel oil supply has considered some of the point that provision of the cleanliness. All suction lines of the joint should be tested under the pressure joint tested with the soap solution. Cleanliness in the handling is bulk oil tanks. The fuel injection system, a very small quantity of fuel must be measured out, injected atomic and mixed with the combustion air. The functions of fuel filters, filter the fuel, measure the correct quantity of fuel, time of the fuel injection, control the rate of fuel injection, break up the fuel into the fine particles, properly distribute the fuel in the combustion chamber. Automation of the fuel oil has been done by air blast and pressure spray. There are types of fuel injection: common rail fuel injection, individual pump injection, and distribution system. One of an important and the recent trend, the common rail injection system called as CRDI. You can see the diagram, that is common rail is also called as the header, which is connected to the mechanically actuated spray valve with controlled wedge and camshaft. Fuel lines to other cylinder which is connected to the high pressure relief valve. Again, the common rail or the header is connected to the fuel from the tank with high pressure pump and pump drive camshaft. A single pump supplies with the high pressure fuel. Header of the common rail relieves the valve, holds the pressure. Control wedge adjusts the lift of the mechanically operated valve to set amount and time of the injection. That was CR. Again, CRDI is, you can see the diagram of spring loaded spray valve with help of the camshaft connected to the accumulator with help of fuel lines to the other cylinder. Again, common ray accumulator is connected to the controlled pressure pipe. The pump drives the shaft and fuel from the dry tank. A controlled pressure system has a pump which maintains the set head pressure, pressure relief and timing valve regulator, injection time and amount of fuel. Spring loaded spray valves acts as a check. The next individual fuel pump injection system. The individual fuel injection system, the pump with an individual cylinder for each nozzle. The injection nozzles with high pressure fuel lines are connected to the control rack. Pump with individual cylinder for each cylinder nozzle are connected again to the pump camshaft. Pump with individual cylinder directly connects to the each of fuel nozzle. The pump meters charge and controls injection timing. Nozzle contain the delivery valve actuated by the fuel oil pressure. The distributor fuel injection system, you can see the diagram of distributor block connected with nozzle with metering and the pressure pump control rod connected to the cam and the primary pump. This is the distributor system. In this system, fuel is metered at a central point. A pump pressurizes, meters the fuel and times of the injection. Fuel is distributed to cylinder in correct firing order by cam operated puppet type of puppet valve which opens to admit the fuel to the nozzles. Now the cooling system for the diesel power plant. The temperature of gases inside the engine cylinder may vary from 35 degrees to the high as 2750 degrees centigrade during the cycle. At the temperature range, the cylinder walls, cylinder and piston metals will lose their characteristics and the piston sizes. The liners, if the cylinder wall temperature rises above the 65 degrees centigrade, lubricating oil evaporates and piston and cylinder are damaged. In order to protect these parts from the heating effect, proper cooling system is required. The high temperature reduces the strength of the piston and cylinder liners. Sometimes of the overheating leads pre-ignition in the spark ignition engines. So these are of two methods used in cooling AC engine, that is air cooling and liquid cooling. Now the air cooling system, you can see there are in this system there are some fins, you can see in the diagram. Heat is carried by air flowing over and around the engine cylinders. Fins are cast on the cylinder head and barrel to provide the additional conductive and radiating surfaces. The importantly, fins are connected to the rigid two right angles to the cylinder axis. There are some of the advantages. No water jackets are required. Absence of cooling pipes. Radiation makes system simpler. No damage of the coolant leakage. No problem in the freezing turbines. Weight per brake horsepower of the air cooling engine is less than water cooled engine. It is a self contained unit. No external components. Installation is easier than the water cooling. This was air cooling. Now the air cooling system, you can see the fins, there are having some disadvantages. Their movement is noisy, non-uniform cooling maintenance and not easy. Output of the air-cooled engine is lesser than that of the water cooling engine. Smaller, useful compression ratio. Now the next one is water cooling system. This is the second type of cooling system. There are some advantages. Fuel consumption is less. Cooling water can be conveniently heated when ever required. We can design any size of cooling system for the engine. No problem of the noise. Uniform heating takes place. Now there are some of the disadvantages. Water required depend on the system. Power absorbed by the pump and recirculating water is higher than that of the cooling fans. Failure of water cooling system can damage the engine. Cost of this system is high and additional maintenance required for water cooling system. So again, the water cooling system, it is indirect method of cooling engine. Then this is open or a single circuit system or closed or double circuit system. You can see in the PPT some of the more information. One of the next system is lubricating system. A lubricating system requires between two surfaces having relative motion. The purpose of lubrication reduce the friction and wear between the parts having relative motion. Cool the surfaces by carrying away the heat generated due to friction. To seal a space adjoining surfaces such as piston rings and cylinder liners. To clean the surfaces by carrying away the carbon and metal particles caused by the wear. To absorb the shock between the bearing and other parts to reduce the noise. The various lubrication system used in the diesel engine are wet sump lubrication, dry sump lubrication and mixed sump lubrication. Now the first one is wet sump lubrication. Wet. These system employ the large capacity oil sump at the base of the crank chamber from which the oil is drawn by low pressure oil pump and delivered to various parts. Oil then gradually returns back to the sump after serving the purpose. Oil is always contained the sump which is drawn by pump through strainer. In this system having splash system, full pressure and semi pressure system. So this is the wet sump lubrication system. You can see the part at the bottom, the wet sump, drain plug, engine crankcase, oil strainer, then the oil pump with help of pressure regulator and the breather, the filter. Then this is provided to the bearing. That is the function of wet sump lubrication. Now the splash system, this system is used on some small 4-stroke stationary engines. Caps on the big end bearings of connecting rods are provided with the scoops, which when the connecting rod is in the lower position, just dip into the oil through and thus direct the oil through the holes in the caps to the big end bearings. Due to the splash of the oil, it reaches the lower portion of the cylinder walls, crankshaft and other parts requiring lubrication. Oil level in the throat is maintained by means of oil sump, which take oil from the sump through a filter. This system is suitable for low and medium speed engine having moderate bearing load pressures. This is the diagram of a splash system. You can see in the diagram the strainer, the pump, the oil troughs, the actual system of the camshaft, the connecting rod, the main bearing, with help of the lower oil pan and the oil pump. This splash system, how it works, you can see in the diagram. Now the full pressure system, you can see in the diagrams the oil pan, the strainer, the oil pump, the filter which is connected to the crankshaft, and the piston connecting rod with help of camshaft and the pressure gauge. Holes drilled through the main camshaft bearing journals, common oil to the big end bearing, communicate oil to the big end bearing, that you can see in the diagram. The full pressure system, oil is delivered by the pressure pump at the pressure ranges from 1.5 to 4 bars. Oil under the pressure is supplied to main bearing of the crankshaft and the camshaft. Hole drilled through the main crankshaft bearing journals communicate oil to the big end bearing and also the small end bearing through holes drilled in the connecting rod. A pressure gauge is provided to confirm the circulation of the oil to the various parts. A pressure regulating valve also provided on the delivery side of this pump to prevent excessive wear. Semi pressure, this is a combination of splash and pressure system. The main supply of the oil is located the base of the crank chamber. The oil is drawn from the lower portion to the sump through the filter, is delivered to by means of the gear pump at the pressure above the 1 bar to the main bearing. The big end connecting lubrication by means of the spray through the nozzle. Oil pressure gauges is provided to indicate the satisfactory oil supply. The supply of less costly to install to compare the pressure. It enables the highest bearing loads and engine speeds to be employed as compared with splash system. This is semi pressure system. Now the dry sump lubrication system. In this system, the oil from the sump is carried to storage tank outside of the engine cylinder block. Oil from the sump is pumped by means of sump pump through filter to the storage tank. Oil from the storage tank is pumped to the cylinder through oil cooler. Oil pressure varies from 3 to 8 kgf per square centimeter. This system is generally adopted for high capacity engines. So this is diagram of dry sump lubrication. You can see the diagram of fuel tank connecting with help of filters, scavenging pump, strainers, dry pump, engine crankcase, bypass pressure relief valve. Other side of the tank is connected to the pressure relief valve, the oil cooler, oil pump, and which goes to the bearing. Mist lubrication system. This engine is used for two-stroke engine. These engines are lubricated by adding 2 to 3% lubricating oil in the fuel tank. The oil and fuel mixture is inducted through the carburetor. The gasoline's vaporized oil in the form of the mist goes via the crankcase into the cylinder. The oil which impinges on the crankcase wall lubricating the main connecting bearing, and the rest of the oil which supplies to the cylinder during the charging and scavenging periods lubricate piston rings and the cylinder. There are some advantages or the simple or absence of the pump. Now there are some of the disadvantages instead of the advantages. Now the lubricating oil invariably burns in the combustion chamber. Losses of anti-corrosion properties which damage bearing. For efficient mixing separate additives are required. High lubricating consumption. Engine over oiled most of the time because no control over the proportion of lubricating oil. So there are most of the disadvantages for this system. So mostly this may not be used. Engine starting system. Engine starting by auxiliary engines, and second one is used by electric motor or self starter. So this is the engine starting system. You can read the further information from the PPT. Third starting system is starting using compressed air system. This system is commonly used for starting the large diesel engine employed for stationary power plant services. The supercharging. Now, what is supercharging? The purpose of supercharging is to raise the volumetric efficiency above that value which can be obtained by the normal aspiration. Now there is a definition of the volumetric efficiency. It is the ratio of actual volume to the swept volume of the piston. The engine is an air pump. Increasing the air consumption permits the greater quantity of the fuel to be added and results in greater potential output. The power output is almost directly proportional to the air consumption. That is the supercharging methods. There are the three methods to increase the air consumption. One is increasing the piston displacement, but leads to move the size and weight and cooling problems. Second, running the engine at the highest speeds. And third, engine increasing the density of the charge. This is one is important. Supercharging apparatus increasing air density is called supercharger. It is similar to compressor, a type of centrifugal compressor which provides the greater mass or charge with same piston displacement. Supercharger produces following effects. The important provides the better mixing of the air fuel mixture due to turbulent effect of supercharger. The temperature of the charge is raised as it is compressed, resulting the higher temperature within the cylinder, so better vaporization of the fuel. Next is power consumption to run supercharger is obtained from the engine. Supercharging, there are some of the advantages. Purpose of supercharging to increase the volumetric efficiency, power increase, output can be obtained by 30 to 50 percentage, same speed of the engine, then the fuel economy, then mechanical efficiency, then scavenging, then knocking. Scavenging is to remove the burnt gases out. Knocking, some ringing shall be obtained inside the engine, that is the knocking. This is the supercharging of the SI engine, that is spark engine, which is used for the petrol engine. This is the PV diagram for supercharging engine. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and up to 6, 7. The main difference between the two engines, increase in the pressure over the normal range results in pumping loop and the positive loop. You can see the above the atmosphere, that is 1, 2, 6, 7, that shows the positive loop. So supercharging in a CI engine, the CI, that is compression ignition engine, that is the diagram of we can say the diesel engine. You can see 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 6, 7, 8. You can see supercharging is the CI engine improves the combustion in diesel engine. Better mixing and combustion in supercharged engine has better specific fuel consumption. Increase in intake temperature reduces volumetric efficiency and thermal efficiency, but increase in density to pressure compensates for this, and intercooling is not necessary except the highly superheated engines. The next effect of the supercharging on the power and the fuel, you can see the diagram. X-axis speed, y-axis power output, and the fuel. You can see how the brake horsepower increases with respect to the speed and the power output with the fuel consumption. As the power output is more, fuel consumption is more. As the speed is more, the fuel consumed is also more. That is the above diagram, that BMEP, brake mean effective pressure, with respect to the power output and speed to the fuel, and the consumption of fuel when the speed is moderate or the average, by that time the minimum fuel consumption is consumed. So you can see the speeds and the power and the fuel with their figures. You can see now the plant maintenance in diesel engine. The plant maintenance is always important, either the breakdown or the in time maintenance is required. The diesel time power plant maintenance depend on various factors. Careful supervision of the equipment used for recording temperature, pressure and electrical data are essential. So these are the equipment. The temperature inside the engine should not be allowed to exceed the safe limit. The temperature, flow and quantity of fuel oil should be checked from time to time. The fuel oil must cleaned from the dust and other impurities by means of filters. When filter elements becomes choke, it should be replaced by the new one. Dirt in a fuel oil ruins the fine lap of fuel injection pumps and plugs the injection nozzle orifice. Fuel tank cleaned thoroughly. The temperature of the fuel and the flow of coolant, lubricating oil and the exhaust gases should be checked regular intervals. So this is all about the diesel power plant, also called as DPP. It starts with the engine of IC engine. IC engine is the internal combustion engine, but wholly it works on CI, that is compression ignition engine. Basically the shown the PV and TS diagram, how it works. It works in the 4-stroke, 2 revolution of the crankshaft and 4 strokes of the piston. So the suction, compression, expansion and working are the 4-stroke, which one revolution can completed one complete cycle can be completed in 2 revolution of the crankshaft and the 4 strokes of the piston. So dear friends, thank you for your concentration and listening and learning about the diesel power plant. Diesel power plant is one of an important power plant among the subjects of IC engine. The heat transfer, thermodynamics, applied thermodynamics 1, applied thermodynamics 2, and the importantly this comes under also the subject of power plant engineering. So this is the importance of the diesel power plant. Thank you. That's all. Okay.